Hey guys, today we are talking about extreme haunted houses, or extreme haunts. So grab yourself a drink and let's chat. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kimmy. This is my attic and we are on day 13 of 31 days in the attic. Is it 13? I believe today is the 13th. I don't know. To be honest with you, I can't even believe I've held on this long. I don't even know what day it is. This is a lot harder than I thought it would be. It's a lot harder. And I'm not surprised that a lot of people don't finish this, because it's difficult. Hopefully I can. In the beginning it was much easier because I had filmed a couple of videos and I was kind of ready to go. But now, like, it's come to the point where I am like kind of like filming like the day of, and it's a mess. And a lot of stuff has happened like in my life that like requires attention that didn't require it in the beginning of the month. It's a mess. So I'm holding on. It's day 13. I'm almost halfway through. Hopefully I will be able to finish it. But as for today, we are talking about extreme haunts. So I'm actually filming this. It's like 6 a.m. here on Long Island. I know, it's crazy. I have the day off. I am getting my hair done later. So I figured, why not wake up early, get some coffee, and talk about extreme haunts. So get yourself your drink of choice. I don't know where you are. I don't know what time it is. If it's morning, grab a tea, grab coffee. If it's the afternoon or the evening, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, grab something else. Let's get started. And while we're at it, why not? I also thought this would be a good time to test out this Makeup Maniacs palette, Sweater Weather. I tested the other one. I didn't test this one. So we'll do that too. But first of all, what is an extreme haunt? Well, let me tell you, for someone like myself who absolutely loves Halloween, I actually do not like haunted houses at all. I remember being very young, maybe like very early teenage years, and going to my first real haunted house, not like the amusement park type where you get in it's like a ride. That's fine. But I remember going through like a church basement when I was like 13 years old, and a church basement, people dressed up, jumping out. That was the extent of it. A lot of bright lights. And it was enough to terrify me and turn me off from haunted houses forever. I hate them. I don't do them. And today, we're not talking about just haunted houses. We're talking about extreme haunted houses. What is an extreme haunted house? It takes it a step further. So basically, it's not just like a fun scare. It's something that kind of like gets into your head. Like it's a psychological scare. There's touching. Sometimes there's nudity. I'm not kidding. Sometimes there's nudity. There is, suffocation, electrocution, edibles. The list goes on and on. So what's fascinating to me here is not that it exists, but what draws people to it. What makes people want to do this? At first I thought it was like a thrill-seeking type of thing, and I think some of these on my list, I don't have a whole bunch, but I have a few I'm going to touch on. I think some of it may be thrill-seeking. I'm not a thrill-seeker, any sense of the word. I rarely leave the attic, but some people are thrill-seekers. You know, they like rides, they like bungee jumping, all kinds of things, and I can see how some of this may fit into that. But there seems to be another world that's not about thrill-seeking. I think it's about something else. So I'm going to go ahead and list some of these haunted houses or extreme haunts. Some of them you may have heard of, or maybe one of them you may have heard of, and then things take a turn for the weird. So the first one we're going to talk about is the one that I think you may have heard of. I know I heard of it. It's called The Gates of Hell by Freakling Brothers. I kind of like that name, Freakling Brothers. Anyway, this is a haunt out in Las Vegas. I think it's called Freakling Brothers. It's called something like that. Wait, I'll get you the exact name. Hold on a second. Freakling Brothers Horror Shows. I think it's supposed to be like Ringling Brothers. So this one, now I can't believe I'm going to say this, but this is probably the most mundane on this list. They have a couple of haunts out there in Vegas, and their like extreme haunt is called the Gates of Hell. So in this case, if you decided that you're going to go here, you don't have to do the extreme. There's other choices for you. I think there's kind of like more regular haunted houses, but if you do want an extreme haunt, you can try the Gates of Hell. Now, I wasn't going to talk about this. I was going to talk about something else that I had heard of, and that was called the Victim Experience, but they don't have it anymore. The Victim Experience was exactly what it sounds like. It was basically a, I hesitate to call it a haunt, because I think once you get to something like this, like I said, it crosses a line, but what it was like a reenaction, basically, where you were the victim of all kinds of crimes. And supposedly it was very, very realistic. Now, why anybody would want to do this, I am not sure. They don't have it anymore, but the thing, I don't know why they don't have it anymore, but I don't think it was because of popularity, because I believe they're supposed to bring it back at one point. So they don't have that right now. So I'll talk about something else. They have something called the Gates of Hell, which is their extreme haunt. And if you do sign up to do this, for $50, you sign a waiver, and you pushed into a box, or can get pushed into a box, yelled at, called names. You don't really have to go to a haunted house for that. Yelled at, called names. There's a lot of profanity involved, putrid smells, and electric shock. And I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Would you ever do something like that? I don't think that, from what I get, this one isn't personal. They get personal. As we go down the list, they actually get personal. But I think, that's why I said I think this is kind of like the mundane one on the list. This is kind of like this, from what I'm getting, it's like the same experience for everybody. You pay $50, you go through it, maybe you make it out, maybe you don't. I believe there is a safe word. And they're allowed to touch you and throw you around, throw you in a box. I don't know. I don't know, guys. What do you think? What do you think of that? It's definitely not for me. What is for me is Makeup Maniacs Sweater Weather. Let's go ahead and test one of these shades. Do I have a mirror? No, I don't have a mirror. Give me a second. For me, I'll tell you something. I'm thinking about it while I'm getting ready to do this. And for me, personally, here's the thing. This is going to sound insane, but I think once if I was going to do something like the Gates of Hell, which I wouldn't, because I have enough going on, I don't need to go somewhere to simulate the Gates of Hell, but if I was going to do it, I think it would be the thinking about it, to me, that would be significantly worse than the actual. I think once I got in there, I'm not saying I would like survive it or not use this. I would probably use a safe word in like 10 seconds. But I think that like the preface. I don't know. The time before it would be significantly worse. Like thinking about what's going to happen to you would be significantly worse than once you actually get in there, because you probably don't have time to think. It's the same thing with like a ride. It's like when you're online and you're thinking about it, it's the worst part. Once you're actually on it, it's over like that. So let's go ahead and try this shade. There's no shade names on this, but I did swatch these, I think. They are really, really pretty. By the way, this is the Makeup Maniacs Sweater Weather. There's two of these. I don't remember what the other one was called. I did a small review on this company, but I did not get to try these. I actually tried the Boothing palette, which I liked. So let's go ahead and try these shimmers. So for every haunted house I talk about, we'll try a shimmer, because there's 4 of them. And I have 4 houses, basically. This is really pretty, but this is definitely a topper. There's not a whole lot of pigment on this. So I'm not sure if you could use this palette alone. Oh. Maybe you could. I'm not sure if you could use this shade alone. It's beautiful though. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you like shimmery like toppers, you might like this palette. Okay, so that's the first shade. And let's talk about the next house. The next house, I'm telling you, it's a weird one. Oh my god, sorry guys. I am experiencing a horrible allergy attack. It's no big surprise. It's October. My allergies are always very bad in the spring and in the fall, but this morning it's been really, really bad. I'm not feeling so good. Anyway, next up on the list, this is one I never heard of. Miasma. Have you guys ever heard of this one? Now, this one is a little different. This one's not even a haunted house. This one is more of like an experience, and basically you have to like be invited to do it. So you can't just like show up. There's no line outside the door. I have no idea how much it costs. If I had to guess, I would say it's quite pricey, but you have to like apply and to do it. And then you kind of go like back and forth. Like they'll email you, they interview you. You have to prove that you're committed to doing this. I have no idea exactly what that means, but you have to follow all of their instructions. I mean, it's just, it baffles my mind. It really does. I guess, I don't know. You have to follow all of their instructions. So basically, if you decide you want to do this, you apply. And then maybe they call you, maybe they don't. If they do call you, they will put you through a series of interviews and I believe tasks. And like you have to follow all their instructions. And as soon as you don't follow their instructions, you're like out of it. You can't do it anymore. So really, really quick. By the way, miasma, I believe, is just, the definition is just like an unpleasant experience. And I think this definitely fits it. So I'm just looking off their website and it says miasma guests may experience some or all of the following: strobe and blinding lights, total darkness, that's okay, aggressive physical contact, graphic adult contact, situational intensity, psychological challenges, constant movements, emotional distress, crawling on hard surfaces, restraint, electricity, water, nudity, clothing removal and or destruction, demeaning language, edible contact, temperature fluctuation, loud audio. I think loud audio is the least of it there. And okay, if I had to guess, if I had to take a wild guess, I would say that part of the experience, these experiences are designed for you. You do this alone. You don't go with your friend. You do this alone. And I would have to say that part of the thing, like when they're doing all these interviews, and I'm just taking a wild guess because I have never been involved in anything like this, nor do I plan to do so, they probably ask you your fears. If I had to guess, I would assume that they ask you like what you're scared of, and then they like tailor it to you. So who does this? Who wants to do this? I don't know. Usually though, there's quite a few people that are like waiting to do this. That's what I've learned from doing this kind of research. So it says miasma features graphic horror content that may include violence, sexuality, emotional distress, and physical intensity. Please be aware of this before deciding to participate. Do not run. Be mindful of every step you take. And be on time. While the actors will touch you, there's absolutely no touching of the actors will be tolerated. And that will result in the immediate end of your experiences. You cannot threaten the actors verbally or physically. I would say just by the basic human response, like half people in the world would be out of it. Because if somebody, isn't that like the flight or fight? Like you can't help it. You just go back at someone. Now this is interesting. There's no glasses allowed here. If you absolutely have to wear your glasses, you have to do it at your own risk. And you have to tell them that you're going to show up with glasses. And failure to do so will result in expulsion from Miasma. So you might want to invest in some contacts before you do this. A safety word will be provided, but you can't get a refund if you use it. You can't be under the influence. You have to sign a waiver. Further directions will be emailed to our guests, including the location 24 hours before the event. So you don't even know where it is. You get that in the email, and you just show up. And the exact location will only be disclosed to our guests. I don't know, guys. I was able to research I was able to find like one experience of somebody who actually did this that they had posted online. And it involved like some psychological stress, like being put in like a psychological situation and then like dealing with like a snake. So yeah, they use animals and things like this. Here's the thing. These kind of haunts, they're not haunts. They're something else. There's no like monsters, quote unquote, involved. Like nobody's jumping out at you in a mask. When I think haunt, that's what I think of. These are not quite haunts. They're something else. And I think people that do them are maybe trying to prove something to themselves or have something in their past that they're trying to overcome. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to think of what would make somebody want to do something like Miasma. I don't know. But like I said, I don't consider that a haunt. Like the first one that we talked about, Freakling Brothers. I think that's more of like a crazy, extreme haunt, but crazy haunt nonetheless. This is something else. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. I can't even imagine doing something like that, but people do it. And there you have it. And with that, let's move on to our next shade. We have this one. There's no shade names, like I said. So I'll just swatch it. Ooh, it's really pretty though. So that's the one that we just did. And we'll go ahead and put that on our other eye. I'm sorry, like I said, I am suffering here. I really am. What happened to my... I had a mirror. Oh, it's right here. My allergies are killing me today. They really... I guess maybe that would be mine. What would be my... Like, what would I say? If I was gonna... Oh, that's really pretty. If I was gonna do Miasma, what would I say? Like... if they said, like, what is your biggest fear? Let's see. The dark. I hate the dark. I don't like spiders. But I think they want to get deeper than that. Like, they probably like, want to get in your head. I would say rejection, but I think I'm over that. I think I got over a situation I went through kind of made me get over that. I don't really need Miasma for that. I guess I would say like the dark and like or maybe you can trick them. Maybe I would say puppies and Reese's peanut butter cups. Make me very uncomfortable. You think that would work? I don't think so.